Flatheads forever. Just going to do a quick video of me little flathead over here. That's a 6-volt battery that goes in a 1943 WLA Harley. That's actually the tanks up there, original petrol and oil tank, and some dash bullshit I did a million years ago. But what I'm thinking about doing is putting those tanks back onto my little girl. So I've got to pull this thing apart. So I just want to get a film of it because I've had it like this for about 6 or 7 years and it's been awesome. Lighting down, sort of. It's got a fair bit done to it. I'm going to try and sort of talk about it real quick and catch a bit of this afternoon light, which I've got in my shed here. So I'll try and ramble through it pretty quickly and not forget too much, just in case I've got to sell it or just as a bit of a memento, a bit of a record. So it's been a pretty awesome machine. I've had it for 15 years now, I think. Been on the road the whole time. Built everything from the rockers on the forks right back to the back end. Right back to... I rode it for years with no, what they call a dust seal in the drum brake. That's how I got it, you know. So when it rained, you just don't have any brakes. I was looking at a blown up diagram over in America of this brakes with this freaking dust seal ring in it. What the fuck? I don't have that. Alright, well, needed new doing up anyway, so that's been done. And that is freaking fully sick. You can lock her up, no worries at all. And then, you know, over the years I took the original battery and tanks, which weigh a fair bit. What are you looking at, Blue Dog? You keep an eye on things? Just telling the story, mate. You keep an eye out. Yeah, anyway, so I did have a disc brake set up on it, which come check it out, mate. Interrupted me, man. Filming here. Which I had mounted down below the oil cooler there on a remote and a hidden reservoir to a disc brake. I think it's pretty sick. It, you know, Springer front ends pull up awesome with disc brakes, but I had it off working on it one day. It was a pain in the arse to bleed it and keep it running. And I thought, you know what, I'll take it for a burn without all that shit on it. That shit weighed a fair bit. I go about 10 metres out the gate and I realised, screw that bullshit. It's so much lighter and more nimbler and better to ride without the weight of the wheel, the brakes on the wheel. So that was about 8 years ago and I've never put a brake back on it. It's over in the shed, I've still got it. Anyway, I built that 21 stainless steel spokes. I think that was the first wheel I ever spoked up myself. You know, it's 21-inch speedy on her and Firestone on the back. That seems to be where she's happy when cornering and stuff. Somebody's raked her out back in the day, a billion years ago. I reckon it's about 40 degrees, a couple inches over, twisty forks, twisty kickstand. What else has got? I've been running the mag on her for a while now. That thing just, that's awesome. Just gets her belting. I'll do a bit of a walk around before I run out of bullshit to talk about. But no finger choppers on the bars. I chopped that one off with a clutch lever. Well, an old bloke that hit me chopped it off, but I don't want any more of that. I'm a guitar player, 3-fingered guitar player, so I don't want to lose any more. So I run nothing on the bars, just throttle, whatever else. I'll go around the other side and have a look at the clutch. Yeah, this one's, I'm building this one. I won't get too carried away with talking about that one, but it's a 1988 4-speed Sportster. But this one's got an easy button on it, which unfortunately that's where I've got to go now. Check that out, 9,000 Ks. Really brand new. A nice little thing. Anyway, this is set up to run a crippled old bastard like me. 3 fingers and a freaking fused left ankle and a blown to bits right knee. So I can kick it, but it's not the smartest thing to do. Look at that. Single-sided guard. It's a piece of work, that thing. I've had that on since the day I got it. I've modified it a bit and cleaned it up was a bit rougher than that when I got it, but this bike was out the side of a shed, just abandoned, you know, but who knows how many owners it's had and the story she can tell. A lot different looking to this. It's my shifter and my clutch, so 3-speed. I love the 3-speed. I swore I'd never change, but I'm not going to be happy about it. That's why I got a 4-speed. But the 3 is awesome. Just neutral between each gear, nice and tall. Fangs it down the road pretty good. A nice big long shift on it. So first is way up, neutral second, and third's way down about here. With neutral between third and second. No matter what's going on, you can always find neutral and sort your shit out. Just running a little McKinney on it. I'd love to have a Linkit, but I've had this bike for 15 years and I've still never come across a Linkit that I could get. Anyway, the McKinney does a great job. The most important thing with these things, in my opinion, if you're going to ride one hard, is that belt drive. So I put that thing on, I don't know, but I think it's about 8 or 9 years ago. But, I've never changed or adjusted the chain, the rear drive chain, ever since. That's where she sat when I put it on. That's where it's been ever since. I fully built the gearbox. I was lucky enough to get 2 gearboxes with this, and this one I went right through it with you know, oversized bearings and big gym clutch kit and brand new clutch gear and anything that it needed. Since I've owned this bike, whenever she needs, she gets before anything else. She's always had, you know, a few bucks on her, but it's been worth it. Fucking thing is awesome. A really lovely old King Sporty tank, and moved the petrol cap up to the top and the little bung down on the bottom. Holds about 10 litres and uses it all. I did have to put a little mini speedo on there just to keep the cops happy, but I don't give a fuck if it's metric or not. It gets me down the road. It's nice and clean. Look at that. Spent a lot of miles looking at that view. Nice and simple. Kangaroo hide seat. My favourite things about Wallers is the simpleness. Flathead Harleys, you know, nothing hanging in the side of the wheel. The stance on that thing. The Fat Bob right side guard. Get out of the shadows here. That exhaust system. I think it's a GSX 1100 trumpet. Bit of Stano in the middle there, an upside down original Waller bit of exhaust. Front bit off a 900 bolted or Honda. Cobbled all together. It's pretty happy with that. That's been on there for years and years. Breathes like a dream. That big Magneto, she, man, they get it going. Awesome spark. It's been custom built oil tank. Thought it'd be a great idea to run one of the little tiny lead cell batteries. There's a bunch of dead ones up there. Actually, our hydrogen experimental cell. I won't talk about that. But I taught myself a lesson doing that. Fucking 6-volt generators love blowing up 6-volt gel cell batteries. I learned that the hard way. But, anyway, that Magneto sorted all that out. An old 70s flame job on the side. That's just some of my bullshit with rattle cans to try and blend it in a little bit and get it down the road. I'm actually going to put that tank on that bike. I sort of have to, because this piece of shit, which was a cool old tank, somebody's decided to do a rust repair by bogging, and then that actually had like surfboard fiberglass matted over the top of it, trying to stop it leaking. I'll just put that one on the shelf for now. Anyway, the generator off at the moment. I've been running that for a little while now. That just means I've got to get it home before dark. And sometimes it's better for your health when you do that, but that's what I'm doing at the moment, is pulling it all down. A little problem with the motor I've got to fix, and then I'll be putting it back the way it used to be, with the black original tanks on it, oil and petrol, the big battery back in there. Might run some, I don't know, see how it looks with these. These are stainless steel bars that a young fella scored to me. Don't know, might just chuck the draggies back on her. This was on the cover of the Dirty Love magazine back in, I don't know, it might have been 2014 or so. Jamie Day used to run a chopper show down south of Brisbane, and he came up with, took some photos of her with a lovely chickie babe, and the bike's been around a bit, done some miles, which is pretty cool for, you know, what's she now, 78 years old. Yeah, I said that probably only good for 80 years. But anyway, hopefully I might have to sell her, but I'm sort of hoping not to. But I can't really kick her over anymore. It's still regoed, but I can kick it. But it blows me knee to bits. I'm sure I spoke about that seat before. That's they're roo skins that they shoot up in Central Highlands of Queensland, and actually get them for the hides, and so they're careful when they skin them. And this one's done some miles, so it used to look pretty fancy when it was first made, but I just knocked that up, and mate of mine sewed it up for me. Basic shit. Cold rolled sissy bar, welded most of that with an arc welder. But, anyway, sort of get her on film, because this is probably the last time I'll see her like this too. It's been great. It's light, fast. It has been a reliable old donk. I did there a new set of barrels on there with aftermarket ones, and I did new con rods and everything. The old ones over here actually. These are awesome. 1943. Well, the fins are just about worn, dissolved away on her. She's bought out 80 thou. You can get 90 thou pistons, but I mean, they're getting pretty thin. I sure do tell you when they're getting hot. I'll put a new set of rods and crank pin in her, which these are pretty cool. I don't know. See the size of the valves on there? Massive. But, I lost a lot of horsepower changing back to stock, but the but it handles hot weather better, and I can push it a little harder. But the that'll go down the road for another few decades, I reckon. But, oh, I've got to talk about me. There's my old Holden I-beam, low beam. I've been using that in my cars for the last 40 years. So that's good enough for me. Saves having buttons and wiring and shit up there, so works like a treat. Yeah, that's about it. There's nothing else to talk about on it. I'm a little bit sad to change it back actually. It's going to be cool, but I mean, I really loved it like this. It's light and fast and pretty awesome. My tool bag used to sit up here. Just rattle canned. But, yeah, anyhow, that's my little Flatty. Probably the last footage we'll get of her looking like that. She's going to look like she used to be with the old tanks, which was pretty cool too. But I did kind of like her like this. Anyway, that'll do you.